Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome to Escapes with TK. Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome to another video on Escapes with TK, the podcast. We are shooting live from Letsabisasehloho River Resort. And this episode is one of my absolute favorites. We haven't even started it yet, but I know it's going to be incredible because in studio, well, it's not my studio. On the podcast, we have the one and only Wode Maya.
The one and only.
The one and only.
Wow.
The only. Welcome to Escapes with TK podcast, but most importantly, welcome to the Kingdom of Lesotho.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling?
I feel blessed because I found myself in a blessed country.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you find yourself in a blessed country, you get blessed automatically. So yeah.
How has the journey been from when you posted the first video arriving at the border, and this is a week and a half or 2 weeks later?
Nah, a week now.
A week and a half.
Not half. Yesterday was a week.
A week.
Yesterday was a week.
Sure.
So, listen, I posted that video innocently. I mean, in terms of just, I just arrived. Whenever I visit a country, I post after 4 days. After 4 days, that's when I'm going to let people know I'm in the country.
Sure.
But then when I arrived, I realized that there's a party that I feel like I cannot miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do a quick video and post it. To my surprise, never knew that I got people in here who love me like that.
Sure.
I never knew even I got a single fan in here.
Sure.
I mean, Lesotho, who would have thought?
Sure.
But the love has been amazing, incredible people. And I must be honest, Lesotho is now part of my favorite countries in Africa.
Country.
Yeah, out of the 33.
Wow. So I want to take it a bit back, right?
Yeah.
I know I jumped straight into the experience in Lesotho. For people who don't know you, I don't know how they don't know you because you are
allowed.
you.
It's allowed.
So tell us a bit about who Wode Maya is, who Wode Maya is, and your journey. I mean, yeah, I know that it's the brand name. So tell us a bit about who you are.
I think I will make it very short, even though it's a very long story. But I would say that Wodemaya is a young freelancer on a journey to change the negative narrative of Africa. But it all started way back in China when I was a student in China. So I studied in China for 4 years, started working for a year. And a year later, I was like, you know what? It's time for somebody to come up to change the way the world see the continent. Because I was checking videos, online. If I could find something just to prove a point to my fellow classmates, schoolmates, that, hey, this is not the way Africa, the Africa you think is different from what, it's out there. So I started looking for videos online, but I couldn't find it. But already I was making videos in China as my experience as a black man living in China. So when I started doing that, I started seeing a lot of black people from Africa coming to China, telling me that, I came to China to study because of Wode Maya. I came to do business in China because of Wode Maya, because I saw Wode Maya's video in China. And I'm like, wow, if I'm having such an impact on a country that I'm not even from, then I guess I'm the best person to go out there to tell the positive stories about Africa, to change people's perception about the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
So, lived in China. 6 years later, I made that bold decision with a goal of traveling to every single African country.
Sure.
And whilst I was on that journey, I got inspired again that Africans are just not Africans in Africa, but Africans that were stolen or captured and took to the West, the Caribbean. So it's about time for me to visit every black nation in the world.
Sure.
So I've been to 33 countries in Africa, but I've also been to 8 countries where it's strictly black people that were taken from Africa to the Caribbean. So basically that's what you call it, a wrap up of who Wode Maya is.
Yeah.
The name Wode Maya simply means my mom. In Chinese, man.
In Chinese.
Yeah.
Before I want to get back to your mom and your dad, because you have a very interesting story in that regard. But what was the experience in China? I mean, the last time I was in Thailand, being a black person traveling in Thailand, they look at you like, I wouldn't say I felt uncomfortable, but when people are looking at you because you look different, and they want to literally come and rub and check if there's something that you put on that rubs off. What was your experience in China?
For me, I think I would say my experience in China was 50-50. I had an incredible time in China. I mean, China made me who I am today. I'm a made in China product, but the quality one. the quality one. Yes, you get to experience racism. But also most of it's come out of ignorance. Like what you're talking about, Chinese person will just touch your skin like this and just look at, oh, is my hand black or not?
Yeah.
Thinking that is death. Like,
or touch your hair.
Yeah, or touch your hair. I mean, it's something that for me, that was not even racism. That was more of curiosity, people trying to figure it out because China is not open to the rest of the world. It was just like an enclave society. So at the end of the day, when they come in contact with a black person, they're kind of curious because I lived there for 6 years. I speak the language. So at the end of the day, I understood what they were talking about. Oh, why is his hair so tough? Or why is it that like he looks so black? All those silly comments that you get to hear. And sometimes I feel like for real racism, I think real racism in China is when you go to look for a job and they say, you don't look like Obama, so we don't want you. Even though we need a black person, but you have to look like Obama before we employ you. Or you go to a place and nobody wants to. You sit in a bus and nobody wants to sit next to you. I mean, also it comes with this, your skin color and all of that. But for me, I think racism in China was not that deep for me.
Sure.
I tried to turn every negative situation into a positive way. So it was. I think that even made me leave China. So took the best out of it.
Took the best out of it with an engineering degree.
Yeah.
So you're studying engineering in China.
Yeah.
Your dad knows you're studying engineering in China. And suddenly you come back as a YouTube comedian firstly. And then eventually you transition and convincing your dad to move into, I can do this professionally. Talk us through that journey, like your dad.
From an African parent perspective, I think you said that your son failed you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because African parents always want to, see their children, doing engineering or being a doctor. But I did a lot of research. My research actually led me to turning my passion into a profession. And this is something that a lot of us are not doing. We have something that we enjoy doing. But at the end of the day, that doesn't qualify to be that white collar job that our parent knows. So when I was in school, yes, I was studying all right. I graduated with first class. I can give you the result for you to check it out. But at the end of the day, I was still figuring it out. What is my passion? So I found that my passion was talking. And I'm like, why am I talking and no one is paying me for talking?
Sure.
So I just converted that talking based on my research and it led me to YouTube. So should I say I talk for a living?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I don't see why you don't. Not.
Exactly. So that was what I wanted to do. I want to talk for a living. So at the end of the day, I did all my research and I told my dad, hey, I think I can talk for a living.
Like,
and he's like, are you crazy? So because of my dad's reaction, I started to do videos and hide them, right? But then I don't know what happened. He came across one of my videos, bro. 2 weeks, my dad was not talking to me.
I remember,
bro. 2 weeks
talking about this.
2 weeks. So I called my mom and I said, listen, like I've done all the research. I know this can work. My mom is like, okay, you give me time. 2 weeks later, my father picked up the phone and called me and said, okay, now you can go ahead. But remember, you have to finish the school. And I'm like, no worries. You know what I did? My first YouTube salary, I changed it into my father's name. So the money that reflected as my first ever salary dropped in my father's account.
That is so cool. Because now YouTube pays you in dollars. In dollars. Right? Yeah.
So let me tell you, so my father calls me and says that, when did you start scamming people? And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh my God. My father was like, I took this guy to school to become an engineer and he has ended up becoming a scammer. Because he has never seen that amount of money from just making
videos online.
And I told him that this is real. This is what I'm talking about. Now he told me, come back home. So I went back home. He sat me down and he's like, you know what? If this is what you want to do, can you please stop the comedy and use the Chinese that you speak to change the way Chinese people think of Africa? And that is when I started making videos about what Chinese people think of Africa, trying to change the perception, the misconception about Africans living in China. And when I did just that, bro, that was when I got my first ever viral video.
Sure.
I moved from 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 100K. So I will also say, even though my father never supported the idea from the beginning, but what I'm doing right now is my father's idea.
It's your father's idea. All right. So a lot of young Africans are thinking of going into YouTube or making money online, but there's a lot of misconception around how do we actually monetize.
Yeah.
As somebody with over 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube, which is fantastic, you know, what advice do you have for them and for me as well?
I think when it comes to telling stories, you have to be very, very authentic. So many of us are not authentic when it comes to storytelling. We tend to do what other people are doing. We tend to live in other people's shoes, and you cannot live in people's shoes. You got to be yourself, and content is something around you. Find something around you and then make it your own. Do you get what I mean? We always tend to do what everyone is doing. Okay, somebody, Wode Maya is doing this, I want to do the same thing. I just want to be like, you can never be like me. You can actually be better than me.
Sure.
Right? But come up with something that is unique to you.
Sure.
You see, and when you come up with something that is so unique to you, no one can take it away from you. And let me just say this by saying that content creation is a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
It's
coming from somebody as big as you say it's a full-time job. It really is a full-time job.
A full-time job. There's nothing you can do about it. Like when it comes to content creation, it's time-consuming. Imagine 24 hours, filming a video in 24 hours, and then you have to release a video that is just 20 minutes.
Sure.
And some of us who travel, bro, I am here. I'm traveling to every corner of this country just for a 20-minute video.
For a 20-minute video.
And I have to stay in cars for 9 hours, just pieces, just to grab all the pieces.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, if you don't have the passion for it, you cannot make it. Authenticity, and let your passion drive you for the content.
The passion
has to be there. You don't have to do videos because you heard that Wodemaya bought a house because of making videos. So you also want to go in because you want to make the money to buy the house. But let your bro, like I am tired. I'm in Lesotho. I have 40% battery. I'm not 100% because for the past 3 months I've been on the road. I've never like been home, just traveling. So when I got in here, I'm like, this is my last country of the year and I have to make it happen. But I was so exhausted. You know what happened? When I got in here, the love that I was receiving, it just slowly keep on charging the battery. So it got to 98. The two is still not here yet. the 2% battery is still not here yet. But that is what the job of having passion for what you do. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you really want to do this, stay authentic. If I should add stay organic. Look around you. Find a niche. When you find that niche, stay consistent towards it, and then trust me, the money will come.
The money will come.
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to ask, and I think we had a conversation about this last night as well, is when that battery is at 40% and you literally have not been home, and then you step into an event like the Malusinyana Bread Festival where everybody's excited to see you, how do you handle the what am I as a child?
I won't lie. I have to be sometimes it can be so annoying. you know, yesterday I was literally like 2% battery.
Sure.
And I'm like, please, I just want to sleep. Then I go there, you're the first person that I meet. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, hell no, please don't talk to me, man. And then this guy just stretched his hand like he wants to say, then I'm like, okay, you know, then slowly, I think I even left you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You went fast.
I went because I was 2%. I was just like, you know, for me, first impression is everything. So when I know that like at that moment I'm drained, I cannot give you 100%, I just walk away.
Sure.
So I just walk away, went to meet them. I think when I was talking to them, then they started telling me about you. And I'm like, I think I've seen this guy somewhere. So slowly went to 60%.
Sure.
And then you came back, you realized that the energy has changed that time. That time I've regained a bit of after having conversation with your team. So that's what happens. Sometimes you're just not in the mood, but you just have to be in the mood for the people.
Absolutely.
I mean, first impression is everything. I mean, these guys I've been watching your videos and now they're seeing you for the first time.
And they feel like they know you. In fact, they do know you because you live in there.
They don't know you. they don't know you. They don't know you, but they you know, don't forget that content is what I choose to.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
But when they meet you, it's like they are family. Yeah. And you have to just blend in, give them all your energy. And I love doing that. Like, my wife normally says that, where do you get the energy from? Even when I'm fighting with my wife and I meet somebody who knows me, at that moment, I have to switch. And when the person goes, we continue the argument. Sure. so I think if you really want to do this, you should be ready for it. It's the side effect of the job.
Yeah. Botswana. Yeah. You did a very interesting masterclass with William. How was that?
Oh, wow. I mean, it was nice sitting in front of greatness, because I see William to be a great guy. I respect him a lot. And we shared ideas and also able to share our thought and how we can make it online with the audience. Because one thing that I realized is that in the Southern Africa, I don't want to get myself into trouble, but in some part of Africa, I feel like you guys are not taking advantage of the people that are online. You guys have a lot of presence online. Like, I'm here, and if every video I've posted, you can go and check from this country. These are even my behind the scenes. It has never hit less than 100,000 views.
Sure.
Check it out.
Sure.
All the videos
I've been following. All
the videos I've posted, which means that you got more people online, right? So at the end of the day, you have to take advantage of it. Taking advantage of it and knowing how to monetize the audience. So when we went to Botswana, I realized that not even a single person want to monetize apart from William. You know, so they're just creating videos, but they don't do the research. So they say that, oh, Botswana is not monetized. No, but you leave, what's it called, Tloquin to Mafiki is just like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You jump on the border. All you need to do is to jump on the border, go to South Africa, buy a SIM card, activate your SIM card there, apply for monetization from South Africa, and then cross back to Botswana. That's it.
Same thing with Lesotho as well. Same thing with Lesotho. You just literally change your YouTube settings to South Africa.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And I was there and people were complaining, oh, Botswana is not on the... I'm like, you next to South Africa. You know, so these are the things that I feel like some of us need to teach people, because I lived in a country where monetization was not allowed.
Sure.
China.
Sure.
But I managed to monetize my page when I was in China. How did I do it? I had to let my father log in from Ghana.
Set it up.
And then use their password in China.
Sure. Lesotho.
Yeah.
If you were to review Lesotho a week later, what has been your experience?
A mecca of tourism, a natural wonder of the world, one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever been. I think it's about time for the people of Lesotho, the Basotos, to grab Lesotho as like the same way they grab their woman. You know, when you love someone,
sure,
and you are so much in love with the girl, right? You grab from the outside, you know.
Sure.
Grab it. You know, Lesotho is mountainous. Grab the bat. Sorry about that. I mean, my kids watching. Grab it. Because before coming here, I never saw this part of Lesotho. Which means that the people have failed to tell their stories.
Sure. And we'll take it.
You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, I am here and I'm getting calls from people from all over the world that, how do we get to Lesotho? And I'm like, that's not my job, by the way. But at least I'm so glad that I've been able to play a role in terms of showcasing the country in the most beautiful way. But I think the tourism board needs to step up. The people in charge of projecting this country needs to step up in order to put Lesotho out there. And trust me, there's so many countries that their economy just depend on tourism.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Lesotho got every right to depend on tourism. Just the scenic drive alone is tourism.
Sure.
Sitting on a horse is a tourism. Like taking a photo right in front of the waterfall, sitting on a horse is tourism.
It's tourism, yeah.
You go to Bali, what do? You just go for views. That's it.
Absolutely. Thailand as well.
What did you do in Thailand?
I will say it's my worst experience in Thailand. It wasn't bad, but I thought it was so overrated. The floating market. I think we paid about 2,000 baht, and you're sitting in this boat, and you're literally just moving through a market. And I'm like,
if I told you sit on a boat in Kate Dam, you tell me you won't do it.
You want to go do the exact same thing in Thailand. You want to do the
exact same thing in Thailand.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I'm trying to say that we need to change. You know, I had breakfast right at the fall. It's not something that they do, but I saw it and I'm like, let me create something. So I saw these girls eating and I'm like, come join my table. I don't know them anywhere. No, these are the Basotho ladies.
Oh, okay.
I don't know them anywhere. I just say they were all having breakfast. I'm like, hey, I've seen something that I feel like people are not doing to showcase the country. Guys, come join me. Sit on my table. We didn't even talk. Just get that video, and they went back to their places to eat. And then I took my food and I finished the food and just got that shot. That alone is tourism. So I believe that there's petty things that if we can put our stuff together, we can put this country out there and to generate income for the people living around these areas. I mean, you go to Switzerland.
I was in Switzerland.
You went to Switzerland?
2016, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like,
do you see anything different from Lesotho?
Wait, actually, our country looks like this, if not better. If actually it is better. And I'm like,
exactly.
Why are we paying so many Swiss francs?
Exactly. Because we don't cherish what we have. We don't grab our continent or our country the way we grab our women. You know, if you can have that mindset. Bro, if I'm telling a story, I tell my stories with passion. And that is exactly how I treat my woman, with passion. And she knows it. You know, so I'm just telling people that let's bring that, you know, culture by embracing what we have. And let's see. I mean, you'll see how Lesotho will be, where Lesotho will be if we start grabbing Lesotho with passion.
With passion. Collaborations.
Yeah.
I love what you and Steven are doing. Steven, I think he's from Ghana as well. Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yes. I love how you guys are supporting each other and collaborating. How important is collaboration, particularly for Africans?
I think I started so well by collaborating with everyone. Like when I got this idea of showcasing Africa in a positive light, I called so many creators, including Steven. Yeah, I don't like to talk about these things. Give them my ideas. Like, this is what I want to achieve. For me, I don't see myself as a creator. I don't see myself I'm just a man on a mission.
Sure.
You guys want to be YouTubers, take my ideas. There's so many people, they can come here and say, if Wode Maya did not do this, like something that I feel like I can do it, I'll just give you.
Sure.
Go ahead and do it. Because the main goal was to showcase Africa in a positive light. And I didn't want to do it all by myself.
Sure.
I needed more people. But one thing that I hated by working with people, they start feeling like you're in a competition with them. They started unnecessary drama. You know, they bring so many things that are so unnecessary. So at some point it was more like draining. So I stepped back a little bit. You know, I didn't want to have anything to do with creators anymore because it's draining, bro. So collaboration to me is very important. And collaboration doesn't necessarily mean that the person needs to have a big following. Listen, you have a family member. I don't care about your numbers. So far as I create with you, your mother will watch the video. Your mother will be a fan. Sure. That is the most important thing. But the thing is, like, we hate to work together as Africans. And that's what I always say. I don't know you anyway. I met you yesterday. I mean, I don't even know your page. I just need to know what kind of value can we create together.
Absolutely.
That is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
You see, so we should learn how to work together as Africans. And at the end of the day, it's just one common goal, showcasing Africa to the rest of the world.
I've got two last questions. Second last one is, you've been on the road for such a long time.
Yeah.
How do you stay mentally fit? How do you stay physically fit? How do you stay excited? You mentioned that the battery is sometimes at 2%. Where do you go mentally, emotionally, just to be like, oh,
bro,
one more day?
That's a tough question, bro, because it can be very, very challenging. Mentally fit, I take a day off. Physically fit, I can't even control it anymore, because when I go back home, I exercise for a very long time. When I start traveling, I can't keep up.
Sure.
So physically, you lose it. Sometimes you get extremely tired on the journey, Like I'm sick right now as I'm speaking to you. I don't know if you can feel
Because
it.
you did mention yesterday
Yeah,
as well
like
that
I have flu and all
Yeah.
of that. And in Lesotho, I'm trying so hard to rest, but also my mom, I was supposed to be home yesterday. Literally, the call that I had today was not a pleasant one because I ended up disappointing the entire family. But at the end of the day, I have to do what I have to do just to get out. Because sometimes I always tell people what I'm doing is more like a calling. It's not my will. If it's my will, bro, I would be sitting somewhere in Miami just with so many women just partying and all of that. That's not my will. No, but the thing is like you always have to allow yourself. When I'm making videos, I feel like I go in trance. Sometimes I don't even know what happens. All I say, oh, the video is over. Like
Sure.
Like when I came up with, I declare Lesotho as a natural wonder of the world. If I tell you that we're just driving and I vanished. The next thing I saw is like Lesotho is a natural wonder of the world. But then when I come back to my senses and I'm like,
what happened?
What happened? You know? So that is what I say. Like, I feel like this is not me doing the job that I'm doing. So I always want to like allow myself to be used. And whenever I get exhausted, I take a day or 2 days break and then we continue again until we're done. Yeah.
The last question. Visa-free Africa.
Bro, that's a conversation that is so dear to my heart because I feel like we are just the same people. But because of the borders, we don't know each other. And after traveling within 33 African countries, I feel like we're just one country. And it's so sad to see that if you go to Europe, you can use one visa to go to most European countries. But then when it comes to Africa, with one visa, you can't even go to the fellow African country, which I think it's so sad. The visa fees are like so expensive. Even if you don't want to give us visa free, can we have something like you pay when you arrive at the border?
Sure.
But then you go into a country like Congo and you have to pay $250 as a visa fee. And after paying that $250, you have to send all your documents. And I'm just going to an African country. I'm not saying you don't charge me. Just allow me to arrive and I stamp my passport and I give you the money there. That's even enough for me because we can't be keeping these borders. Listen, an African don't see an African as an investor. But I'm here, I'm spending money. I'm investing.
Yeah.
But we always see an European as what? An investor, which I think that it doesn't make sense. I feel like we're sick in the head. Because if we can allow ourselves to move within the continent, a guy from Ghana can see an opportunity here and invest. But because of the visa restrictions, we are not allowed to do all these things. Like, I can't even go to certain countries because I don't have the visas. And I'm already in the continent of Africa. I mean, I just have to ask you a question like, do you think it makes sense for us to be applying visas to go to our what do you call it? Our neighboring countries? It doesn't make sense. And you know, these are borders that were not created by Africans. When Africa was being partitioned, we're not there. So I'm like, if we're not there, why are we still keeping it? Why are we still keeping it? So I hope and believe that one day Africa will be borderless. I hope and believe that one day Africans will be able to travel within their various continents in Africa, travel within different countries in Africa just to appreciate Africa's beauty. That's it.
Wow. Mr. Wode Maya,
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to meet you in
Ghana.
Yeah. And also Barbados. I hope you go back to Barbados.
I don't know why he's so focused on going to Barbados.
I enjoyed your Barbados video. I did.
If you enjoyed the Barbados video, I know what you're talking about because the Barbados video was just women. That's nothing else.
No comment. No comment. Guys, you've been listening to Escapes with TK podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. But most importantly, thank you for allowing me to have this conversation with you. I can only hope that the rest of 2024 and 2025 brings you health, wealth, and a lot of love.
Thank you so much.
And a lot of love. We appreciate the work that you do. We respect the work that you do. And on behalf of Basotho, you have really done well for us.
I'm not even
literally
down.
Promoted, and you're not even done.
That's 1%.
And that's literally 1% because I'm waiting for that blog as well. So thank you so much. Wish you well. Stay well and go get home safely and say hello to your beautiful wife.
Thank you. I will
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome to Escapes with TK.